Let's talk about hyperinflation in Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is now in a period of hyperinflation with an estimated inflation rate of 1,220%. 1,220%. That is crazy as an inflation rate. Last week, for example, the price of bread went up twice. At the beginning of the week, bread was going for 10,000 Zimbabwean dollars. At the end of the week, bread was going at 12,000 Zimbabwean dollars. Today, at the time of making this video, the 15th of June, Zimbabwe's currency actually hit a 14-year low of $1 is trading to 7,800 Zimbabwean dollars on the parallel market. That's a 14-year low. That's dramatic. To put it further in perspective, the Zimbabwean dollar has effectively lost 96% of its value against the US dollar since January of 2022. Effectively, Zimbabwe is in its third episode of hyperinflation in 15 years. Now, what are the causes of hyperinflation? Number one, the credibility of the government. If people don't take your government seriously, they won't take your currency seriously. And unfortunately, the ZANU-PF-led government of Zimbabwe is not taken seriously by the global community or the international community. They are viewed as anti-democratic, anti-rule of law. Number two, corruption. There has been blatant theft of export revenue, of government revenue in Zimbabwe by people who are politically connected and are part of the political elite. And the theft of export revenue has been demonstrated in that gold mafia documentary, where you can see how a lot of the gold export money ends up in the hands of senior politicians, going all the way to the top, to the president. Number three, poor monetary policy. Poor monetary policy can destroy your currency. That includes printing of money. That includes allowing arbitrage. That includes unrealistic exchange rates. That includes contradictory monetary policy statements being made, sometimes every other month. That includes a lack of policy certainty. If you have all of those things happening at the same time, your currency and the value of that currency are going to depreciate. Number four, poor fiscal policy. The overspending of money by government in and of itself leads to the currency being strained over time, because you're not able to meet all of your obligations. You're not able necessarily to pay all of your debts, and that affects the credibility of your currency. And fifthly, in the context of Zimbabwe, the de-dollarization in 2019. Zimbabwe actually followed all of these steps in the timeline that if you look at this graphic, in 2009, the currency moved away from the Zimbabwean dollar, which had been basically collapsing, and moved to being a dollar currency, US dollar currency, and that stabilized the economy to a degree. But in 2019, there was the reintroduction of the Zimbabwean dollar at 1:1 with the US dollar. But if you look now, it's trading at 1:7,800 in the space simply of 4 years, showing you that de-dollarization actually hurt the Zimbabwean currency. This is a cautionary tale to African leaders that you cannot do whatever you want with the money. You cannot print money. You can't be corrupt. You can't ignore the international standards of how money should be managed.